Hello, you're welcome to my channel. Today we'll be learning how I made this jumpsuit. This is a jumpsuit I made from Pattern Nutrition. I used my basic blog of the pants and the bodies to do this. So it's not beginners friendly, I have to say. But if it's something you want to learn to watch, you're welcome and keep watching. So if you don't know how to draft your basic bodies, I have the tutorial. I'm going to link it in the description box below. So for the tutorial, this is the fabric that I need, my tools that I'm working with. As you can see, you see that the pattern is already drafted out. That's the front panel of the pant, and that's the upper body of the front panel. Okay, so this is for the back pant, and the back bodies as well. For that's for the upper bodies, but the major alteration I'm doing is on the front. That's what we're focusing on. Then I'm going to show us how to turn this into a jumpsuit. Okay, now I am going to connect from the middle point. I will just use the ruler, but you can do 1.5 or 1 inch. You know, there are different ways you can get your dart if you know about that manipulation from the front. Okay, so now I'm just going to connect it like so to meet the apex of my nipples. Then it might not be straight, but leave it like that. So now I'm going to do for the neck piping. I'm going to do 1.5 is an outer neck. Okay, I'm going to do 1.5. So just connect like so. Then you use your curve ruler to define the lines properly. Make sure to connect every dot. Then you connect. I went down by 1.5, sorry. You connect it back to your armhole like so. Okay, so I'm going to show from the shoulder, tip of the shoulder, I went down by 1.5. You see, I didn't do it from the side, please, so you take note. From the tip there, that's when I went down by 1.5. So I am going to close the side dart. I'm going to open the middle dart, the waist dart, to close the bust dart. So I'm going to open it from the middle point like so. This will enable me close my dart properly. So I've transferred the bust dart to the waistline. So, and I'm going to also cut out the piping. Is it piping? I don't know, of the neck anyways. Just follow what I'm doing. You cut that out first before you cut out the side of the armhole. It's very important. Okay, so now to close the waist dart, I have to slit open the neck dart. I'm going to transfer the waist dart to the neck dart. The principle of that manipulation is that when you have to move, for you to open another dart, you have to close one, or for you to close one dart, you have to move it somewhere. So now I have moved it to the neck. I've moved all the darts to the neck line. So I'm going to close the dart like so. With the help of my tape, I will seal it. So I've successfully secured my dart. So what I'm going to do is there is a shortage there, so I'm just going to put the shortage, replace it. Okay, I'll just connect like so. It's just that middle point, but I have to put the paper enough so that I can get it right. If this is your first time of coming across my video, you're welcome. Make sure to like our video and click on the subscribe button to subscribe, and also share our video with your loved ones. And if you recreate this, also let us know. Okay, so successfully done. Put up the one that was short. So now I just trim off. That is the paper tip, the extra that came out pop up, so I'm just taking it out. So now I have my that moved to the neckline. Okay, so we're done for the front. Now I'm going to alter the back. I'm not doing any what I'm only doing is the armhole around the back, but I'm going to show you in case you also want to have gathers for the back, because this dress doesn't have gathers at the back. Maybe if you're working with a flower crepe or chiffon or normal crepe, and you want that fullness, you want that flow with a gathers or pleats, because it works better. Because it's a stretchy fabric, I couldn't do that with it, so I'm going to take 1.5 as well for the neckline, just like I did for the front. Now connect. So like I was saying, I'm just going to show you if you want to add fullness like a gathers for the back as well. I'm just going to show you, but I'm not doing that for this one. So just connect like so. And I'm going from the tip as well, like I did for the front. I'm going to take 1.5. So from that 1.5, I'm going to connect back to the edge of the armhole like so. Okay. So I'll cut out the neckline. So I'm done cutting out the neckline. So we have for the back. But now let me show you what I said earlier. If you want to have gathers for the back or make a pleat for the back, how you can go about it. Okay. So just mark out your chest line. Mark it across so it will give you guide on how to put your that. So for your, it's advisable, I didn't do that here, but it's advisable you go down by one. Okay, so when you go down by one, it will give it more fullness when you slash open. Okay, for the neckline. So now you're going to connect and connect. So if you had gone down from the chest line by one, when you slash, you have more fullness on the upper part, because it will give you room to like open it up. Okay, so now I'm just going to connect from the middle point of the neckline like so to the tip of the darts, as you see me do. So this is me showing that that is going off in case you want to do that. Then I connected again. I did another 0.5 and connected it back like so. So I have to close the waist dart so that I can move that up, or I slashed the wrong part of the dart. Okay, and when I moved it to close it, I said it's not giving me what I want. Like, okay, the opening was small. Okay, and also I will also tell you that because I didn't go down by that one, if I had gone down by that one, I will have more fullness there, because it will have more room to be open, if that makes sense. All right, so Now that I noticed that I didn't, I slashed through the wrong part, it wasn't opening as it should. I had to close it, then open to the other side. Like I said, I'm not doing it for the dress. I'm just doing it for tutorial purpose, just in case you want to try out. You want to try it out. That you want to, the gathers to be in the front and the back at the same time. Okay. So I'm closing it. Then I'm going to slash open through the other side. So now I'm going to put it like so. Then what you can do again to have more fullness is that 0.5 that is left there, that one there, you just cut it off. Okay, just cut it off, and you will have more, a little more to gather. Okay, so that is just it. And I've just shown you in case you just want to do that. So now I'm going to close it back because I don't need the opening. I'm only doing it for illustration purpose. So I have my back pattern ready. So now let's do the magic. So we're going to convert this to a jumpsuit. So all I need is an extra paper. I'm going to place the waistline and secure the waist of the trouser. And please, when I did the trouser, I'm going to explain this to you. The crotch measurement, I used my full crotch. I didn't minus anything from my full crotch. You know, when you want to do a band, you're making a trouser, I want to do a band, you have to minus your band from your crotch, then whatever you have left is your crotch. This is a full crotch measurement. So for example, if you divide your hip, whatever you get by 4, whatever you get, you're using it fully for the crotch measurement. Okay, if that makes sense. That was what I did. So now the space I'm putting is 1.5 in between the waist and the crotch line. Okay, the waist of the upper body to the crotch line, but the sorry, not the waist, that is the middle, the center front, but the waist is going to be closed, like sealed with the waist of the side waistline. Sorry, it's going to be sealed with the side waistline of the pant, like I did. There's no space there. Okay, so it's just like when you're slashing open. Okay, that's what I just did. It's just the room I gave for the center front is 1.5. If you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. Use my handles, my Instagram. It's just the same name for my Instagram. Then the difference between the name in my TikTok is that it's _fit. Okay, so just it's the same channel name I'm using. So you get in touch with us. So that's just it. So I will just connect like so. Okay. So now I've successfully joined my pant block to my upper bodice block to form a jumpsuit pattern. Okay, this is an easy way. If you already have the trouser pattern before and the upper body pattern before, so it's just an easy way, saves you stress of redrafting a pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to do same for the back. Sorry, my camera, you know when you move your phone, the camera moved, and so it's the same thing I'm doing for the back. So I've done that, and I closed the dart for the waistline of the dart. But what I'm trying to tell you is that this is stretchy. So because it's stretchy, I have to minus a certain amount from the my waistline. Okay, so that to give me that grip. So I removed the dart. That's what I'm trying to say. I removed the dart without replacing it, if that makes sense. Okay, because the fabric is stretchy. It's just like minusing, using your exact measurements without adding allowance. and you sew again with like 0.5 on a stretchy fabric. That's just what I did. So for the waist of the this thing, the pant, you know that for the waist of the back, I did a tightening for this person. It's not my dress, is a client dress. I did a tightening for her, and her back is really, for you to get her grip very well, for you it to be very flat, you have to do close to like 1.2 most times. Okay, so now I'm replacing that I've removed from the upper body pattern on the waistline of the pants. Okay, if that makes sense. It might look funny the way it's looking, but that is actually how I got that fit. If you can see the back of the video when it started, you see that it really fits perfectly. Like in as much as the stretchy fabric, there was no snake movement on the back. That was because of how was how I was able to achieve it. Hope I'm not explaining too much to confuse you, but what I'm trying to say is that I removed my waist dart of the pant and the back, and I did not replace it, if that makes sense. I closed it and didn't replace it. So now this is the neckline that I've cut out. So I'm just going to seal it together. I'm going to seal the both. Okay, like so, the front side and the back side. You know, I indicated that the other side, that's the zipper allowance side, and that's the center front on the other side. Okay, so you indicate so you don't get confused when you're sewing it, because one side has a zipper allowance and one side does not have. So now I've placed my fabric. You see, this is the most stretchy part. This is stretchy, but it's not as stretchy as the other side. Okay, that's one way to work with a stretchy fabric. So because I'm going to add zipper allowance and all that, I need to find out where is more stretchy and where is not. So the place that is not much stretchy, that's where the zipper side is going to stay, so that I won't have issues sewing my zip, if that makes sense. So even if you want to make without zip also, the stretcher part is supposed to be at the width, like the wide side of it. So I've cut out my pattern. I've placed it and I've cut the front and the back out, and I'm going to notch the middle of my fullness that I added. Okay, so this will give me a guide when I'm pleating, where my pleat is starting from and where it's going to end. Okay, so this is me trying it out, just showing you. Then if it just gathers you want to do, all you just need is to match with a loose stitch and draw it. Okay, and that means you have to take note before you slash. You have to take note of what you have left, so that when you draw the amount you need. Okay, so I want to sew my zipper for the back first. I like, so if I'm working with a stretchy fabric, I like sewing my zipper first before closing it, because it helped me reduce that snaky thing that it gives. Because after stitching the part, like half of it, and trying to fix the zip, it gives me issue. That's how it works for me. So now I've measured what I removed. Remember, I removed 1.5. So in my zip now, I'm going to leave 1.5. Okay, move 1.5 upward, and I'm going to sew on 0.5 from the neckline as well. So I hope it makes sense. So from the neckline, I remove 0. That's where I will use to join the back. Okay, if it's possible, go down, start sewing by 0. Remove your 1.5 and start sewing by 0.5 downward, 1 inch downward, sorry, so that you will have enough ease to add the piping of the neckline. So this is me sewing the back. You see what I did? I didn't stretch it. I allowed the machine do the job. I did not stretch. I was not pulling it from the front or the back. Okay, so if possible, if you're a beginner, if this is your first time, please pin it so that it doesn't pin it, so you have a grip on it. Okay, so now I'm going to sew the other side. So I'm going to align my fabric, pin the edge of my crotch line, and also the edge of my neckline. Okay, the edge is very important, with the same allowance I used for the first one. It's very important, so that you don't have it's a stretchy fabric, you might end up sewing one side will be longer than one side. So that will help you give you an accurate result, like an even seam when you are done for the both side, if that makes sense. So I'm done sewing, and this is what I have. You see that it's aligned, it slips. So now I'm just going to sew from like 0.3 or 1, you can do 0.5 from where the zip are ended upward and sew downward like so. Okay, so I secured my stitch. We're almost done for the back. It's just easy, it's just the alteration, it's easy process. Okay, we're done for the back. So this is what we'll have for the back. Now let's work on the front. I'm going to pleat. You see my pleat, please, you have to pleat towards same direction. Any direction you are pleating towards, make sure you repeat same on the other side, so that when you join them, if the left is going leftward, the other right side will go left as well. I don't know if that makes sense. Just so I've done for this. I'm going to repeat same process on the other side, and I'm done doing same thing on the other side. So I'm aligning. You see that they align. That was because of the notch. So I have the same space left. So I'm just going to fold my armhole like so. If you have if you can't sew neatly like so, folding your armhole, because this is tricky, especially around that armhole area, it's always curvy, sometimes it's tricky. You can use a bias to do that. So I've done that, I've repeated it on both sides. So now what I'm going to do now is to sew my my neckline. Remember, I actually removed that zipper allowance. That gave me a very good grip on the neckline. Okay, it's stretchy, right? So I am just going to cross check what I have. You know why I removed that, right? I removed it because when I was cutting the dress, I didn't add allowance to my armhole region. So after stitching that armhole line, I have the fabric is going to short. So if I leave that zipper line, it's going to give it issue. That was why I removed it, if that makes sense. So cut after you've done that, cut. But if you did not remove, if you added sewing allowance, you don't have to do this process. So you cut out and you sew the upper part first, then you join, you notch the middle and notch the middle of the front, and you start from there. Okay, towards the armhole region of your front panel, move it up a little with 0.7 or if possible 1 inch. Why you do that is it's going to make your armhole slip better, instead of, sometimes if you sew an halter neck, it budges. Remember, we did not do a armhole that's holding, right? So that will help it sit properly. It won't give you that bulgy whatever. You can see how it fits perfectly on the person when she wore it the first time. So you just sew. Remember that space you left, that 1.5 you left when you were cutting. When you're done sewing the front side, you're going to leave that 1.5 and start again from the back. Okay, so that is the part that is showing, that will be resting on your, I don't, if it makes sense anyways. Just try it, you know what I'm saying. So that's the space, you're seeing that space between, that's the 1.5, because that's where we started from, right? So we've successfully replaced it. Here I tried to do a stitch on the ditch, but it didn't come out well. I have to repeat it. So now I've sewn the side of I've done with the neck and sewn the side of that the trouser. So this is what I am having now. So now I'm going to sew the side seam and hem the baseline. And thank you for watching.